I spend a lot of time on the road, going to classes, speaking engagements, maybe visiting family. And when I am traveling, I like to listen to music, and not just any music. I like to listen to rap, to hip hop. And as a coach, a speaker, and entrepreneur myself, I started to realize there are a lot of things that we as entrepreneurs can learn from the rap game. So here are some of the things that I believe that we as business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs, someone who wants to be, wants to have, wants to create, that we can learn from the rap game. The first thing that I love is this, and here's what I believe that we can really learn, is that as entrepreneurs, we must realize that stories sell. Fantastic stories in the rap game sell. Now here's where there's a bit of a morality issue. They don't always have to be true in order for them to sell, but they must be compelling. As a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, as someone who works on commission, how compelling is your story? Have you honed and crafted the thing that's going to help you make a fortune? Now here's the beautiful thing and the amazing thing about stories is that oftentimes in the rap game, the story involves pain, it involves setback, it involves some type of challenge that must be overcome. Often it is the catalyst for why they stopped doing whatever they were doing to get here. And you know what? We as consumers, as fans, we eat it up. We go in and say, I know he or she is flawed. I know they've messed up. I know they have experienced and endured some hard things. But that's what makes them so appealing to us. So as an entrepreneur, let me ask you, what parts of your story have you hidden? What parts of your story have you said, well, no, they're going to judge me. It's going to create a chasm between me and my audience. Could the very fact that you're not telling that part of your story be hurtful? I often think about Les Brown, how he talks about how he grew up in Liberty City, or how Eric Thomas talks about growing up and then making a decision on his own that resulted in him being homeless. Without those pieces of their stories, we would not love them nearly as much. So if in the rap game they talked about their previous entrepreneurial endeavors, or what they went through as children and the love they didn't have, it makes us say, even though they are flawed, we are still endeared to them. So I'm going to challenge you to think about your compelling story, because what I've also learned is that compelling stories beat great product or talent almost every day. I mean, look at the rap game right now. Heck, in our industry, whatever industry that you're in, look around. There's someone who's not nearly as talented as you are, but they're having a heck of a lot more success. Why? They said, I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to get out and do this thing that's in my heart, and nothing's going to stop me. The next thing that I believe that entrepreneurs can learn from the rap game is this one. Now, this is encouragement and a challenge. There is an audience for everyone and for everything. I mean, let's look at just the music coming out right now. Whether it is mumble rap or hardcore, maybe it is storytelling. There is an audience for you and your product. You have to be bold and put out information, put out a product, put out a service for your audience. You can't be all things to all people. But here's the encouragement once again. There is an audience for you, for your service. There's an audience for Young Jeezy. There's an audience for Travis Scott. There's even an audience for Young Doug or Lil Doug or Doug 42, 42 Doug. You know who I'm talking about. And if you don't, it's okay. Lil Uzi Vert has an audience. Yes, that's a real rapper. What I'm saying is that it's time for you and I to create and publish so that we can find our audience, but more importantly, for our audience to find us. And here's what I just alluded to. We've got to put content out, our services out, our product out. Every great rap artist knows that it doesn't matter how awesome the song sounds in the studio if it's never published, if it's never shipped? What's keeping you from shipping your product or service right now? Is it because you want to do like Dr. Dre and just refine the album just a little bit, and we're excited about it until the point we don't care? Like we don't even expect Detox to come out? Is it because you are a perfectionist? Maybe you're just scared of what the public, your consumer, your customer base is going to say about your product. So here's the challenge with the rap game and as entrepreneurs. Our work is personal. We hold it close. So when someone critiques what you do in a service, a product, they're critiquing you. They're not saying that your service sucks. They're saying you suck, right? That's the way we take it. But in the rap game, we know, hey, if I don't put this out, then nothing is going to come as a result. There are going to be no rewards if we don't take any risk. So I'm going to ask you today to ship your product, ship your service. I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and publish, produce, whatever it is, so that your audience can find you, and make sure that you include those pieces of your story that you might be embarrassed about, that might make you human. Maybe we're going to realize that you don't float when you walk like Bruno Mars, but we will say he or she is someone that I can relate to. And if we can connect, then our audience will be endeared to us forever. Another thing about the rap game is that they understand that a great team is a must. Now, very rarely will you find an artist who is going to be the producer, the publisher, the engineer. They're going to be their own everything along with being the artist. Well, what does your team look like? Now, maybe you're saying, Neil, I don't have a team, I'm an entrepreneur. Well, could I challenge you in that? If you want to be great, and I don't believe any of us got in this thing to work for ourselves, long hours, long days, for months on end to be mediocre. I don't think that we wanted to be in the mediocre masses as entrepreneurs. I believe that we had dreams when we started, when we took that leap of being in an elite few, where we look around and the air is a little finer, where we experience a better quality of life. Well, dare I say, you're only going to get there if you have a great team around you. Now, while you have a great team, there's one part that is non-negotiable. We hear it all the time in the rap game, and hopefully you have experienced it in your own business and life. But you must believe first. You've got to believe that it is possible for you to achieve your goal. How many times have we seen an artist, when we go back and look at archived footage? I think of Rod Wave and his ascent to the top. He would have his phone and cameras recording him from the very beginning, and he was talking that talk nonstop. Hey, I know we're gonna make it. I know that I'm going to be on top. I know, I believe, I can see. Well, can you see? Can you believe? Do you believe in yourself? Yes, there's going to come a point when others must believe. But the only thing that's going to keep you going, like that keeps the rap artists going, are going to be the belief that they have in their abilities, the belief that they have in the dream, the belief that what's ahead is better than what's behind. Do you believe in you? Now, I know we need family members, friends, we need coaches, mentors that say, hey, you've got it. But what if those people leave? Kinky B left Young Jeezy. So did Mailman. I mean, now, Mailman did a stint in the pen. If you don't know who Mailman is, that's okay. But here's what I want to ask you. If no one else believed in your dream, in your ability to succeed as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a hustler, a grinder, would you believe in yourself? If not, we definitely need to start there. Remember, talent is never enough. Just because you're good doesn't mean that you have success in your future. I mean, one of the most talented artists that I've seen, even though he's not a rapper, R&B, was Ryan Leslie. I believe the guy was a producer, just a brilliant guy. But talent is never enough. That's what John Maxwell tells us. So even if you're a talented small business owner or entrepreneur, that's not going to be enough to get you to where you want to be. You've got to do as many reformed entrepreneurs in the rap game have done. You've got to become a student of this thing that you're in. You've got to learn the proper form, structure. Instead of 16 bars, maybe you need to learn profit and loss statements. Maybe you need to understand budgeting as an entrepreneur. You've got to get in and hone your craft, because talent is not enough. Are you willing to become a student of the industry you're in? Maybe willing to look and see who's done what you want to do at a higher level. Who has done what you've done that started from where you are, so that you can say, hey, I believe if they can do it, I can do it as well. Talent is never enough. There might take some collaboration. You might have to have a feature in your entrepreneurial journey. Could you partner with someone to maybe make things easier? Talent is never enough. You're going to have to put in long hours in the studio or in your home office. When everyone else is having fun on the weekend, when everyone else, as Lil Wayne says, was at the club, he was in the studio. When everyone else was spending his money, he was at the studio. How much time are you going to commit to being in your studio? Are you going to be learning the financial tracker ticker information if you're a trader? Are you going to get in and say, well, how can I be a better salesperson? What's the proper language to use? What do I say? What's my personality style? How do I connect with my audience? Right? This is what's required. Because if we want to learn anything from the rap game, we must become a student of whatever industry we're in. And then one of the last things that I believe we can learn from the rap game is that overnight success has just taken a lot of nights, right? Oh, they came from nowhere. Where did she come from? This one album hit or this one song? Well, here's what we really know. I love the story of Plies, Young Jeezy. I love the story of Rod Wave or Derez De'Shon. Now, you all don't judge me by my musical selection choices, right? But here's why I love it. It's because now that we've seen them at the top, they're releasing footage, they're releasing pieces, glimpses into their life, into their journey. And we see that overnight is not overnight. It has taken decades of giving away free material, dropping mixtapes, trying new styles to see what their audience, what their group likes and doesn't like. When was the last time you put out some content, you put out a service, you put out a product for your audience to see if it's going to fail or succeed? When was the last time you worked for free? And I'm not talking about just because things didn't go as planned on this last rollout that you did. But when was the last time you said, I'm going to give something to the marketplace to gauge their response? I'm going to put the hours in knowing that I must work to learn before working to earn. That whole idea of apprenticeship is wild. That rappers from the hood, they grasp it better than we as business owners have. Said, yes, if I need to be the runner, the errand boy or girl, I will do that so that I can get around the right people, so that I can be in a mastermind group. We see it, we hear about it in Think and Grow Rich. Well, here's what I know. Even by accident, some of the greatest rappers in the world, in the rap game, are doing the very thing that you and I as entrepreneurs should be doing. And then here's the last thing I believe that we can learn, should learn from the rap game as entrepreneurs. And that's overcoming adversity and challenges can help your business. When we hear of the challenges that others endure, it excites us. It emboldens us to say, if she did it, if he did it, I can do it. So who would benefit from hearing some of, now not all of your personal challenges, but who would benefit if you wove some of those stories, those challenges into your story? If you were a first-generation realtor from Alabama who only speaks English, but 66.7% of your business is with individuals whose native tongue is not English, where you did not come from a family of realtors, but yet you've come in to solidify yourself for almost 2 decades as a force in the real estate industry. I don't know who I could be talking about. I'm just saying. What if you talked about your first failed business and how you came back and the lessons that you've learned? Could that help your business? Instead of everyone always wanting to be a winner, what if we were just honest? What if we learned from the rap game that if you tell your story, challenges and all, that you're going to find an audience who will defend you, who will support you, and who will promote you. I hope that you found this video insightful, whether you are an entrepreneur, small business owner, or just a lover of the rap game. I hope that you will subscribe to this channel, that you will share this video with others, but most importantly, I want to hear what you think about the content. What's something that you've learned, maybe not from the rap game, but from an unexpected source that has helped you in your life or business? I would love to hear about it. I'll make sure I comment. And the most important thing that I can do is remind you that I love you, God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And until the next time I see you or you see me, don't be average, be world renowned. Peace.